Hey everybody, welcome back to Cactus Kush CBD and Your Health. Today's going to be a little bit of a special video. We got some guests in house. We have Natalie Riley from Nothing But Love Notes and one of my heroes, Jeremiah Thompson. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about PTSD and how you can notice the signs of PTSD and manage your own if you happen to have it. So without further ado, we're going to kind of get right into it. JD, I want to start off with you. You give us a little bit of background about your service and your experiences.
Yeah, so I was in Iraq 2006, going overseas, dealing with the stuff that you deal with, seeing the stuff that you see. You come home and you're not the same person. You go through the PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, is what they call it. So, and it doesn't necessarily have to be with obviously stuff that happens overseas and war or anything like that. People, just everyday people get in car accidents, things like that, suffer PTSD as well in their regular life. So me, battling PTSD from the stuff I did over there, lack of sleep, anxiety, the nightmares, different things. You drive down the road, you're still clearing the intersection, still clearing the overpasses, trash on the side of the road still gets you going out into big crowds of people, the malls, whatever the case is, it still gets you a little anxious, a little on edge, things like that. So yeah, that's just kind of some of the stuff that just a little taste of what
I imagine that can be pretty exhausting too, to never be able to relax and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, your mind just goes so fast, and it's always going, and you can never, I call it never shut it off. And that's just how it goes. Even at nighttime, you can't shut it off. You don't get to sleep. I maybe sleep an hour or two a night, if that. And that's not a straight through. That's a on and off kind of thing. But I've been living with it and dealing with it for 11 plus years now. So.
Right on. Well, we want to thank you for your service and your sacrifice for us, and you're still serving and sacrificing for the country right now as a first responder here in the Phoenix area. So again, thank you for that. Kind of out of the frying pan into the fire kind of a deal. So we got hooked up. I've known JD for a long time, and I consider him family. So it's really nice for him to be able to come in here and talk to us about that. But JD hooked us up with Nothing But Love Notes, and I want to take a little bit of a second to talk about what Nothing But Love Notes is and kind of what they're about. So Natalie, why don't you give us a little rundown about how you started Nothing But Love Notes and kind of what your mission is?
Sure. So we started Nothing But Love Notes about 3 years ago, and it just started with random acts of gratitude for our first responders and for our veterans. We would write thank you notes and leave them on their cars or the fire trucks outside of the grocery store, or if we'd see a police officer, we'd walk up and hand them a thank you note. And it really started just as a way to get my mother out of the house. She was going through chemotherapy at the time, but what we realized, the more that we did this, was how important this gesture was for some of these responders and veterans, because we would have grown men break into tears over their service, they'd open up about their stories of service, whether it was in Vietnam, Korea, Afghanistan. That's how I met JD. And so we've just been kind of on this mission to spread the love to these individuals out there, put their lives on the line for their country and their community.
That's awesome, man. We're so stoked to be a part of that. This thing's global too, guys. If you Google hashtag Nothing But Love Notes and look in the images section, these love notes make it all over the world, and it's really awesome to be a part of it. Just a few that we've been able to hand out in here to our patients and customers that are first responders and active and retired military. The look on their face, or slipping one in a bag, and the phone call that you get from that police officer who's been having a rough shift, or it makes a big difference. So for us to be able to partner up with Nothing But Love Notes and bring a little bit of awareness and spread a little bit of love, because that's kind of what our philosophy is all about. It's peace, love, and good vibes, and just kind of positivity and paying it forward. So for us to be able to be a part of it, it's pretty huge. So we talked a little bit about what PTSD is. And if you know anybody that is a career military person or a first responder, they're not always the most open people with their feelings, and they're not going to come out and talk about, yeah, right, JD? They're not going to come out and talk about what's bothering them. So I want to give Natalie and JD a second to kind of talk about maybe some of the things that you could look for as a loved one, a friend, a spouse, a son, a daughter, a brother, a sister, a grandparent, or just a passerby on the street if you want to stop and have a nice word for somebody. So kind of talk about a little bit about what the visual signs to look for in somebody that's suffering from PTSD.
My wife would probably be better for this one, but man, honestly, it affects everybody differently. Sometimes there may not be those visual signs, especially to somebody that you just meet. My wife calls it putting on a show, and I go out and I put on a show for everybody else out in the public, and if you meet me on the street, you never know anything's going on.
I might.
She definitely probably would have. Everybody has, like I said, everybody has those different signs and symptoms. It affects everybody a little differently. For those people that are close to you and the loved ones and the friends, you'll notice mood changes and different things. Maybe some depression and for a spouse or a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever the case is. Maybe the lack of sleep. You might notice them having nightmares and different things like that. It's just, again, it all is specific to a person, and things affect people in a different way. And just like you go on your day-to-day life, and you may interact with somebody, and everybody has that different take and a different takeaway. And so it's just really noticing the differences in their attitudes. Maybe they're a little more snippy, a little more aggressive, or they're maybe they're slipping into some kind of depression, and they're just more reserved and more in what's it called, into themselves, not
introverted.
Avoiding
right.
public places and withdrawn. Yeah, that's a great one. So and it may be something small. You may notice something small right at the beginning, and it may not be really super noticeable, but definitely definitely take the time to watch for that and to keep an eye out. I think it'll open your eyes as you see them interacting and going through day to day. I think you might notice a few things.
The day I met you were having a rough day.
Yeah.
I had left a note on his truck, which he's a little OCD about his truck anyway.
That's a whole other video, guys.
Right. But when I left the note on his truck, I turned away to walk to my car, and I heard an explosion of expletives. And the hair literally stood up on the back of my neck because this guy was so angry. And I'll let you tell that part of it, but I think that just being in public, and he's having a rough day, and one little thing can set him off.
Yeah, I was definitely having a rough day. It was, you go through life, and I mean everybody does it. It's not just veterans, not just those people that have been, been to war or whatever the case is. It's anybody. Anybody can have a rough day. Whatever you're going through in your personal life, whatever the case is, and I have my days, and that was just one of those days. I was just, it was not a good day. And then for somebody to just put something on my car, like they said, I'm very OCD about my vehicles and about my things, and it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I had some words to say, and when I saw that note, and I picked it off my window, and it said veteran on it, and it kind of made me stop and take a step back, and I kind of changed my attitude a little bit at the moment, and kind of gave me a kick in the butt. And and then I read the note, and the note it was a simple little note. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. We love you. And And it was just kind of one of those things that, you know, as a veteran, especially a first responder, sometimes, you know, you feel like you're alone, you feel like you're the only one that's going through whatever it is you're going through at the time. And I think, you know, this, you know, that's why I got involved with the Nothing But Love Notes and Natalie, and I, you know, I get it out there to anybody I can. You know, we came up here to Bubba and got you guys hooked up, and you know, it's an amazing thing. I think, you know, one thing I've always told Natalie since day one is you'll never understand the impact that this note may have on somebody. You know, as a veteran, you know, 22 veterans a day go through and commit suicide, and it's unfortunate. And that's just veterans alone. That's not including police officers. That's not including firefighters. That's not including the first responders. You know, and that's not including just you know, your average citizen that's out there, your average individual.
Nurses, air traffic controllers.
Exactly. You know, you have everybody that, you know. I mean, you got guys that work for waste management, and that's not knocking them at all. That's just saying they're people too, and they go through things just like anybody else. And you know, teenagers. I mean, suicide rate among teenagers is growing. You know, and it's just it's sad, really. And I mean, it's insane. But these notes, man, these notes, they help anybody and everybody. And you know, you never know the mind frame or the mindset that somebody is going through.
So we talked a little bit about the important factors of managing your PTSD. We're going to kind of jump into the CBD side of things a little bit too. So what have been some of the main benefits for you using the CBD, and what has it helped you and helped you manage the symptoms of your PTSD or the not necessarily symptoms, but the ramifications that maybe it was. So what have you been able to help control with that, and what victories have you had?
So you know, obviously the PTSD, we've been talking that this video is all about the PTSD and all about that kind of stuff that's going on. You know, I haven't been out to see a fireworks show in probably 11 plus years, and that's just, you know, obviously you can imagine what the fireworks kind of brings back. This past year, you know, I started the CBD. You know, Bubba finally convinced me to start taking it. And
it's been years.
Yeah, it took him a while to beat it into my head, but I started taking it, and you know, this year, July 4th was the first time I got to go out and see a fireworks show. And you know, like I said, 11 plus years, and I was able to take my family. You know, I have a wife and a 3-year-old son. And I was
there too.
And Natalie,
you
yeah.
were really calm and just
yeah,
present.
we were talking about that before you got here this morning, about what kind of even a visual impact difference it was for the people around you, not even necessarily yourself.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
It's huge. You know, I mean, that's a huge milestone and a huge step. I think for me, a huge victory to be able to you know, move past some of that stuff and to be able to. I call it quieting my mind. I'm able to take all that stuff and it's just quiet, and it allows me to start thinking and processing and just kind of calm down a little bit and not let my mind go 1,000 miles an hour. And it's been amazing, you know, that, and then, you know, being able to go out into public and just be more relaxed. I'm still very on guard and kind of noticing everything that's going on, and you know, you revert back to that, but just be able to just relax more and be able to enjoy going out with my son and my wife and you know, friends, and be able to do those things. It's amazing. And then on top of that, the sleep. You know, I couldn't tell you the last time I got more than an hour or two of sleep a night. And you know, after starting taking the CBD, I forgot what sleep was, and it's been amazing.
That's hard to go without it now, right?
Yeah.
I spent a lot of years without getting good sleep too, buddy. I understand completely. And
yeah.
At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what you're doing for yourself. If you're not allowing your body to get into that REM sleep and letting your mind shut off, then you're never going to rest, and it's never going to be any different for you, because you know, the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So if you could facilitate that change in your life and take that step, those are really good things. You know, managing your anxiety when you're out, those loud noises, and managing your depression when you're at home or on shift sitting in the back of that ambulance after a rough call, or any of those things. It doesn't. You don't have to be a suicidal person to benefit from the benefits of what cannabis can do for your mind, your body, and your soul. And it's important to feed all three of those things at the same time. So again, guys, I just want to let everybody know too that our veterans are really important to us here and our first responders at Cactus Kush. So we give 20% off the entire store to all of our veterans, active military, first responders, and their spouses. So if it's something you're interested in, come into one of our locations. I'm going to do a little bit more about the science behind this, and I'll add it on to the video once we tie up here. And I'm going to add some graphics in for you guys, to some buzzwords and some things to look for in regards to what we talked about for those people in your life that you may think may be suffering or having a hard time. So don't be afraid. Take that first step. If JD can do it, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it.
I'll tell you this real quick, and I have been, you associate the CBD with different things, and I've been very close-minded about that stuff. And man, I'm telling you, after getting hammered with Bubba and my brother and different people and doing a lot of research and everything else, I finally took the step and I finally took the leap and tried it. And man, my world has changed so drastically that it's insane. I mean,
and we're just getting started, Bubba.
Yeah, and I'm sure that they can, Bubba's known me for a very, very long time, and he's seen the changes. Natalie,
since you got back.
Yeah. And Natalie's known me for 3.5 years, almost 4 years, and she's seen the differences and the changes. And my wife, if she was here, she could testify to all of this. How much of an impact and how much of a change this stuff can actually make and actually help with, and your mood and everything about it. I'm telling you guys, if you guys have had any hesitations about it, give it a try. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. But I mean, there's no loss in trying it. You can only gain things from it. I'm telling you, it's insane.
Right on. Well, on that note, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up before it gets too long and you guys don't want to sit there and watch the whole thing. But please, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, you want a little more education, stop into one of our locations. You can send us an email at info@cactuskushcbd.com, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. But again, Jeremiah, thank you so much for your time today, man. A year ago, you wouldn't have sat here and had this conversation with me.
No.
Especially not on camera.
No.
Natalie, thank you so much for all the time and effort that you put into helping these people overcome. Who knows how many lives that you saved by handing out those notes. So we want to continue to be a part of that. So thanks again from all of us. I appreciate your time. And don't forget that CBD is the future, guys, and you can help yourself with it just like these guys are. Have a good day. #NothingButLoveNotes. We'll put the link up in the description of the video for you guys.
Love you guys. Thanks.
Bye.